Good evening and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Aaron Saray.
And I am student meteorologist Christian Palacio.
And tonight we'll have a great show for you planned here. So, to start off, we do have some showers right now over the southeast that's making its way to places like Mississippi and Louisiana.
Yes, and then looking into the rest of the northeast right now, there are some advisories going on for the winter storm alerts, especially in New York and Pennsylvania.
And as we get to the beach in Panama City now, conditions are cloudy at 70 degrees.
Yes, and as far as for tonight's headlines, we are looking at some severe weather, winter weather for the northeast, and we are going to take a look at what our spring break is going to look like. Stay tuned for FSU Weather.
Good evening, FSU Weather. Student meteorologist Brian Garcia. Taking a look at Doak Campbell Stadium right now, we are seeing more cloud coverage and temperatures currently at 74 degrees. Current conditions right now with the temperatures included 75 at Perry, 74 here in Tallahassee, and a little cooler by the coast with cloudier temperatures. Local radar, we do see some showers coming in from the south heading north, and they will increase as the night goes on until tomorrow as well. Tonight's forecast, however, we do see some cooler temperatures regarding right now, 65 here in Tallahassee, with more storm chances included, and it'll head on to tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's forecast, mid-70s here in Tallahassee, we will be seeing 76, a little cooler more to the north, 74 in Apalachicola with storm chances. And tonight on FSU Weather, we will be talking about how muggy it will be for us, more storms to end the week, and we will be seeing colder temperatures starting this weekend as well. This is Brian Garcia.
Yes, Brian, so we will be seeing some cooler temperatures along with increased moisture this weekend and going into the start of spring break. Actually looking at a low of 26 on Friday night going into Saturday, so it's going to be a very chilly start to spring break. And we are looking at a chance of severe weather going into the weekend, and that will ramp up tomorrow as we have a first front coming through. And we could have some potential for some severe, some gusty winds, some outside chance of hail and tornadoes. So we do have to be on the watch for that. And then we have another cold front coming through on Friday, which is going to bring that chilly air into our local region. And we will be seeing those more severe storms continued throughout the rest of the week. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Evan, and he's going to tell us more about that severe weather chance.
That's right. Thanks, Bradley. So here we have that wide picture of our current surface map going on right now. Here's that system that's going to bring us that severe weather over the next couple of days. Right now, it's a stationary front that extends into the Gulf of Mexico, through Tallahassee, also up towards Atlanta, getting in on that rain action right now. But temperature-wise, you can kind of see where that stationary front is. It's right about there, just south of Atlanta, cutting through Georgia. And that's where we have those thunderstorms right now at 49 in Atlanta, and also at New Orleans, 66. That's a place that'll be under the gun for severe weather tonight, but I'll show you that in just a second here. Current radar right now, you can see that rain working its way into Minneapolis, also into Atlanta, and also through much of Mississippi, Alabama, and into Georgia as well, back into Louisiana as well. Those places are getting rain entry. None of this is severe right now, and we don't have any warnings out right now, but that'll change tonight as we do have a slight risk for this area right here. But for right now, for wind speeds, you can kind of see this counterclockwise rotation here. That's where we have one low pressure system, and also back towards this direction here, we have another low pressure here along that stationary front extending up towards the northeast like that. And you can also see that on our dew points, we have that southerly flow bringing in that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and we also have that clashing with that cold air mass coming down from the north, and that's what's going to spark this severe weather threat, is that warm air colliding with that colder air. That will spark that severe weather. And again, you can see that on the dew points here. You can kind of see that front slowly moving its way towards the east, just getting to Tallahassee and kind of staying there for the next few days. And it's still there as we get into Thursday and also into Friday as well. We can get up to maybe even 4 inches of rainfall from this storm in Tallahassee. That'll make up our 4-inch rainfall deficit that we've had so far this year. Here's that severe weather threat for tonight. Places like Pensacola, also towards Biloxi, Kessler Air Force Base, even into New Orleans, places like that could get into that severe weather tonight. All modes of severe weather are possible: heavy rainfall, gusty winds, also an outside chance of a tornado, some large hail as well. And again, that's the case for tomorrow as that severe threat slides towards the east. Tallahassee is under the gun, also for Charleston, South Carolina, and much of southern Georgia is in that slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather. And we also have a 5% chance of a tornado within this slight risk. So make sure you are taking all necessary precautions. Stay with us here on FSU Weather as we keep you covered, and make sure you have a way of getting any National Weather Service related alerts that are issued tomorrow. As for rainfall, again, we get plenty of rainfall. This is only through Thursday evening. We can get up to 1.5 inches, maybe 2.5 inches of rain. Isolated places could get 3 to 5 inches of rain, but more of this will come through Friday as we go through time here. And again, on the next 48 hours, in terms of temperature, you can see that cold air working its way through, and of course, that heavy rainfall accompanying that as well. Panama City Beach, not a great week to go to the beach as that heavy rain and thunderstorm threat persists. But now I'll give it up to Sammy for a look at the local.
Hello, everyone. Yes, it is not looking great with that high storm risk. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Dole Campbell Stadium right now, we're looking at 74 degrees, looking like a beautiful sunset out with a light wind at 10 miles per hour. The temperature Almanac today, we have 83 degrees. It was a great day. And our low is going to go all the way down to 67. We're above average right now, but that's going to change later in the week when this cold front moves through. Our radar right now, we have a large storm over by Jackson, and that's going to move forward in the next few days, as we heard in the severe weather. But as of now, we're not really seeing much. There's a little bit of flare-ups around over here, but that's not really of concern right now. It's actually helping make that sunset look really nice. So our current local temperatures, we have 74 degrees over in Tallahassee. It's a little colder near the coast. Overall, a great day. But we are actually quite muggy right now, with 67 is our dew point, and it's going to stay moist as this storm moves through. The radar right now, still not much happening, but as we move on, we see it starts to pick up. There's some clouds that will move in through with the severe weather. Here's the front right here, and that's actually going to continue moving through. Trust me, it will actually rain, even though there's nothing shown here. So tonight's forecast, we have 65 degrees in Tallahassee. We have higher chances of rain in Monticello, and we're going to see a very rainy day tomorrow at 76 degrees over in Tallahassee. I would not want to be out tomorrow at all. Overnight outlook, we're seeing a very cool day. Shouldn't worry about rain too much. Tomorrow, try not to walk your dog in the rain. It's not fun. I would not do that. So beach forecast, I would stay out of the water. It actually is quite cold if you head over to Panama City Beach at 60 degrees in the water. The week ahead, we're looking at very stormy weather as we move on into the week. And then we're going to cool all the way down to 26 degrees. So with that being said, we're going to hand things off to Christian with the rest of Florida.
Yes, thank you so much, Sammy. And looking at the rest of the state of Florida, it is still kind of warm for us right now. However, look at these different pictures we got for weather stand. Panama City Beach is covered in clouds right now. But Gainesville, they got some partly cloudy skies just like we are, as well as Orlando. But Miami, Florida, you can see that sunset looking really nice. But right now for our current temperatures down in Central and South Florida, it is in the mid to upper 70s. Tampa, you're sitting at 80 degrees right now. We got that thunderstorm passing by Orlando right now. We got some isolated thunderstorms happening. And so for the southeast in general, you can see that defining line where the dew points are starting to reach up all the way up here through the central part of Mississippi, Alabama, and into Georgia. And of course, for us Floridians here, it is the most moist with 67 here in Tallahassee, and down in Miami, it's 69, showing that upper level water vapor. There is a little bit actually flare-ups happening in the central spine part of the Florida Peninsula, and you can see all that moisture that is passing by over the rest of the southeast and even into the mid-Atlantic part of the country that we'll be continuing to see those stationary fronts progressing with those low pressure systems. Right now there are some isolated showers and thunderstorms that are happening in the middle of Florida, and right off the edge over there in the southeast we can see that system about to be approaching us eventually within the next few days. Taking a closer look at central Florida, there are some heavy rain bands that are just kind of hitting the middle part. I'm surrounded by all those lakes. Got to be careful with those lakes picking up on that depth. And for South Florida, for the most part, they actually are not seeing much rain right now. Besides kind of the central part of the Everglades, it is continuing to progress into the northern part of South Florida, or I guess into really central Florida. So there goes that system making its way out of here. Within the next 48 hours, we are going to see a lot more rain hitting the state of Florida, all the way from north to south. And our temperatures are going to be still sticking around the mid-60s and even up to the 70s. It's starting to warm up. But right now, for the next 3 days for you, Miami, Florida, you're looking pretty nice and sunny. You are going to be seeing some of those partly cloudy skies, and you're going to be sitting in the mid-80s. And as for your beach, it is looking really nice. If you're going to go to spring break back in Miami, it looks like it is a perfect place to go. Starting with this weekend, because that water is going to be 75 and it's going to be feeling really nice. Tampa, you're going to be still partly cloudy today, but the next 2 days you're going to start to see those thunderstorms. Orlando, for the next few days, you are already seeing that rain. It's going to continue to happen. In Jacksonville, man, same story. It's going to be very rainy. And Pensacola, they are starting to see those systems passing by. For Panama City, it's a little bit cold right now, and there is some winds, but it's going to make that ocean pretty choppy. And as far as for tomorrow's forecast in Florida, you are going to be pretty sunny for most of it. Orlando, Gainesville, and Jacksonville, you are going to be seeing those thunderstorms. And so what do we got going on for this, Heron?
Well, we're going to switch gears almost 180 degrees and talk about winter weather here across the nation. And there's plenty of it coming up in the upcoming week here. And for our current snowfall, most of the snowfall tends to be situated primarily north of about the middle part of the country. So places like Chicago over towards Topeka, Kansas, and then into the Canadian border are seeing really the bulk of that snow, with most of it situated off to the north and east near Quebec. As for our northeastern radar, it's actually fairly sunny right now across the New England and northeast part. We do see those temperatures primarily staying in the 30s. Those will eventually go up, get down into the low 30s and into the 40s as we get into the evening hours. But those are very pleasant conditions out there, especially for those areas over there. And as for the Great Lakes, we'll see those temperatures primarily staying in the 30s and even 20s up by International Falls there, and primarily sunny across much of the Midwest. And further off to the Rocky Mountains near Idaho Falls and up into Billing, temperatures are also pretty chilly in the teens up in Montana, down into the 30s in Idaho, but there is some snow in the upper parts of those mountains. So if you're down near Salt Lake City, up towards Idaho, and then over towards Boise, you might see perhaps a snow flurry or two, especially in those higher elevations over there. Over into the northwestern portions of the country, we do see some of that precipitation coming in from the northwestern parts of, well, I should say the northeastern parts of the Pacific Ocean coming into the northwest, with some of those temperatures primarily staying in the 40s around Seattle, Portland, over towards Spokane. So not really making for a pretty good time out there if you're out there right now. And these showers are making its way over to Oregon, but some of these are actually turning into some snow as those precipitation does go over those mountaintops over there where it's a little bit cooler. As for our winter weather alerts, we do see some advisories across much of the area, particularly along places like around the Montana area down towards Colorado. And then we do have some warnings as well into more isolated places, into far western portions of Nebraska, into Colorado, and then as well into Wyoming there, especially across Idaho and near Yellowstone. And then some watches as well as we make its way down into the Central Plains. As for our future radar, we'll see those snow showers briefly making its way into further off to the south, right there, into the southern part of the Rocky Mountains, making its way into Salt Lake City over towards Denver, and being picked up. And that's what this area of low pressure is actually going to form. This is actually going to play an influence in our weather coming up next week, or sorry, later this week. And it's actually going to bring snow to our area, but might bring some cooler temperatures across the Tallahassee area. As for our snowfall forecast, we will see those perhaps isolated amounts near maybe close to a foot in some areas, especially as we get near the southwestern tip there, bullseye there in Wyoming. And then, of course, that will spread off towards the east as we make our way through time. And over the southeast, not much in the way of winter precipitation, but we do see a lot of rain, especially across Arkansas over towards Mississippi and down towards the north or the upper Gulf Coast right there. But again, over to the New England areas, or those northeast, I should say, we do see those winter weather advisory up to upstate New York into Pennsylvania. Our future radar does show a lot of those snow showers making its way into New England and the northeast. And that's what's going to allow to bring some of those snow flurries down into places like Boston, New York, and that region. As for Manchester, New Hampshire, we will see those temperatures actually warm up slightly after those snowfall, but it looks like it'll be pretty pleasant over there.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. So we are going to be talking about those pretty cooler temperatures across the country. Sorry, guys, I'm just getting this fixed right here. All right, here we go. So here's the weekly planner. And so we're looking into it, and we're going to be talking. All right, there we go. All right, so very cool over the northern portion of our country. They're not looking like us down here at 76 in Tallahassee and down 84 in Miami. We are getting that warm weather for now. That will change. Looking at Thursday, we can see that front start to make its way down, and that's coming over the Tennessee Valley right now, and that will bring those cooler temperatures. They'll filter in through Friday. We look really stormy weather down here in Tallahassee and New Orleans. We're going to be seeing those thunderstorms. We have to look out for that severe weather. Up north, we're still seeing 15 degrees. That's pretty chilly. And out west, sunny in Los Angeles, 69, 72 in Phoenix. That dry desert air sits over there. Looking at Saturday's highs, we take a huge dip here in Tallahassee. We're down to 58 with that overnight low at 26. Saturday's highs, you start to warm up actually in the northern part of our country. 48 in Bismarck, 28 still in Minneapolis, so still pretty chilly. Los Angeles, Phoenix, Seattle. Seattle's it's going to be pretty rainy as always. You guys know Seattle, typical. Looking at Sunday, we start to warm back up a little bit here in Tallahassee. Still pretty cool temperatures for this time of the year, so we got to get used to that. Grab the jackets. Looking at temps compared to the average, our nation is very cold across the board. Only portions here, the East Coast, that will be warmer than average, but we are going to be cooler than average in most of the country. Wednesday evening, still same narrative. Very cold here, especially in the Midwest. Our friends in the Midwest will have that cool air. That goes into about June for them, so they're not out of the woods yet, certainly. We move south into Thursday, and those temperatures are very cold here down in Texas. Tallahassee, we're about neutral. Miami's still warm for those spring breakers down there, so you guys enjoy that. Friday evening, you can see that cool air coming over Tallahassee, and that continues into the rest of the weekend. So I'm going to pass things off here to Brian.
And now we talk about my favorite city in the whole United States. It's currently 78 degrees right now in Miami, which what I believe is near Marlins Park Stadium, which we will be looking at, and it is way clearer than it is here in local Tallahassee. Hour by hour, you do see those 76 right now in the morning, and then it did creep up to like 83. Didn't go above that, and then it's slightly cooling right now. Temperature Almanac, we always know it's kind of warm down there. Today it was 84. It did not reach the record though, low or a high. And the current local temperatures down there in South Florida, 80 in Fort Lauderdale, 78 in Miami. And you go down to Key West, it is still 80 and even 81 in Naples. Current dew points for South Florida, we are all muggy down there, 70 in Miami, 70 in Homestead as well. By the Keys as well, it's still pretty muggy. And it will continue to be muggy throughout the week as we have more rain chances for the whole state of Florida practically. And that Florida radar, you do see some showers in Central Florida. However, South Florida, we will not be seeing so much rain right now, but it will be increasing as the week goes on. And taking a look at even closer, you do see it's kind of more clear until you go to around the Everglades, a little more north, you do see some showers creeping in there. future radar. Some clouds are creeping in. It will be getting more cloud coverage as the week goes on, and you do see some showers in that Gulf of Mexico. Dog walk forecast, that is my dog. She's looking good there. 9 in the morning, you do see 79 degrees, sunshine, 83 at noon, and 82 at 3 p.m. Tonight in Miami, it's always something to do in Miami. It's 64 degrees. And tomorrow we will be looking at 76 degrees with the chance of thunderstorms, and wind will be picking up across beautiful scenery here in Miami Beach area. Beach forecast, it is a little warmer than it is up here, so the water is 75 degrees, air temperatures is 83. Surfing is pretty good, 1 to 2 feet for this time of year. However, that UV index is still 1. You cannot catch a tan yet. You will have to wait a couple more weeks for that to happen, especially for spring break. And the Miami week ahead, you do see some 83 degrees tomorrow. Way better temperatures than we do see here, and way better, way less rain chances as well. 83 degrees throughout the week, 84. We do see 87 degrees along with that cold front coming in, however. You do see the 55 degrees on Saturday night, Sunday morning. And then we will be looking at next week as the start of spring break here in FSU. More rain chances and, of course, back to warmer temperatures down there in Miami. And we're passing things off to Evan right now.
That's right. Thanks, Brian. I wish I could be in Miami this week for spring break, but I'll be heading back up to New York where it is a little bit more, well, chilly, obviously. But speaking of New York, they could be seeing some snow tomorrow, and I'll get into that right now. We have a quick look at our current snow cover right now. This has really progressed northward since the last time we looked last week, with much of the snow confined to northern New Hampshire, northern Vermont, upstate New York, and of course Maine, the snowiest place in the Northeast. But much of the big cities in the Northeast are snow-free, but that will change tomorrow as we get a quick moving system through the day tomorrow. A quick look at our local temperatures. This is much cooler than it was a couple days ago. Maybe saying, what happened to the spring temperatures? It was 70 degrees a couple days ago. But now we're back down into the 40s in New York City, widespread 30s throughout much of the region right now, 41 there in Boston, 21 up there in Caribou, Maine. A quick look at the radar. Not much to see on the radar, pretty dry. We do have those very clear conditions in New York City, also in Boston, Burlington, much the same story. We do have maybe just a few clouds moving their way through southern New Jersey, also onto Long Island as well. Eastern Pennsylvania dealing with some of that cloud cover. Maybe just some snow showers just to the east of Toronto, but that is not part of the contiguous United States. And moving towards Maine, much of the same, just a few light snow showers just to the south of Presque Island. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. As we move to our winter storm alerts, however, we do have a winter weather advisory for northern Pennsylvania, southern New York State, even one county here in Connecticut. That's for that light snowfall that we'll experience tomorrow. It won't be heavy, just light to moderate snowfall amounts, and it will be that heavy, wet, slushy snow that's really a pain to move, but it won't be a lot of it, as the system, like I said, won't be containing that heavy snowfall that we do see with other systems. Mount Olive, New Jersey, one of the places experiencing some of this snowfall. Temperatures will stay in the 30s, so that's part of the reason why we have that heavy, wet snow. Temperatures are not going to be that cold, still staying in the 30s, but snow pretty much the whole day tomorrow, so please be careful on those roadways. Here it is in the future radar, that quick moving system, if I can English there, right? The quick moving system will drop that quick 1 to 3 inches of snow in most places. Places just the north of New York City may experience a little bit heavier, maybe 3 to 5 inches of snow. And I'll show you that here on the GFS. We do have a widespread swath of 1 to 3 inches in that white. And that big explosion of color right there, that's for the system that we'll talk about later in the week. As we work into the weekend, there could be a second system following this one that could pack a bigger punch, bringing much heavier snow totals, maybe even upwards of 1.5 feet, maybe even 2 feet of snow in places in New York State, maybe Syracuse and Burlington getting some of that action. And the Euro model also shows this as well. There's that first snowstorm, maybe 3 to 5 inches just to the north of New York City, and again, that wide swath of snow extending into from all the way down in southern Pennsylvania up all the way through Maine. But again, that's for this weekend, and we'll detail that more as we go further on in the week here on FSU Weather. Manchester, New Hampshire, one of the places getting the snow tomorrow, 80% chance of afternoon snow, but temperatures rebound nicely into the 50s. As for tonight, looks like a chilly night out there, a little bit rainy there in New York City, 39, very chilly up there in Caribou at 7, and as for tomorrow, there's that snow for much of the area, temperatures sitting in the 30s. Caribou, Maine, again, very chilly tonight, down all the way to 5, But again, we'll have to watch that weekend storm for potentially much greater snow totals. So I don't know, Christian, I think people in Florida are going to like these warmer temperatures, although it might be a little rainy.
Absolutely. I think that being here in Florida is definitely a lot better than that really awkward, slushy weather, as you mentioned, from the snow. But for tonight's overlook, we got 67 down to 65 for later on this evening. So it's going to be a little bit cooler for us, but it's very comfortable temperatures. And then once again, we have that pressure, or excuse me, that system that's passing by over here in Louisiana, Mississippi, just carrying on into the rest of the southeast with both of those low pressure systems manipulating that storm right there. And as for the rainfall forecast for much of the area, it is going to be looking anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain, and it's going to be a little bit more, 3 to 5 inches possibly in some localized areas. Taking one last look at this GFS snowfall right here, there's going to be much of that snow that's going to be packed in right here for upstate New York and even down into Virginia there. But the next 60 hours, it looks like it's going to be clearing out, and then there goes that next system that is going to be going into the northeast. And now I'm going to pass things back off to Aaron.
That's right. As we do one last look at our local weather here in Tallahassee, it is really going to show a highlight of what's to come over the next few days here. But currently over Doak Campbell Stadium, we are seeing some cloudy skies right there at 73 degrees. So maybe not the best sunset tonight. Certainly not really looking like pretty good, at least for the next few days in terms of sunsets there. As for our current local temperatures, we see those temperatures primarily staying in the low 70s at this hour, maybe a little bit cooler down near St. Mark's and over towards Apalachicola there at 69 as the cold spot across the Big Bend. As for our local radar, we do see a few isolated scattered showers, I should say, across places like southwestern Georgia, and actually more numerous as you get over towards the peninsula there near Jacksonville, over towards coastal portions of Georgia. As for our future radar, we will see those clouds beginning to filter in ahead of our system coming in tomorrow. That line actually is going to make its way over towards our area, so don't worry, it actually will come through. It's not going to spook us there. It will come through and bring us possibly some slight chance of some severe weather. Temperatures tonight will be in the 60s across the area. And as for the week ahead, we will see temperatures really struggling to get into the 70s. We had that rain-cooled air, and then another dip in our temperatures really down to 26 degrees. But now I'll turn things back over to the wall with Sammy and Evan.
That's right. Thanks, Aaron. So to close out our show tonight, we had a lot to talk about. We have that severe weather threat for Tallahassee over the next few days. Starting tomorrow, we have that slight 2 out of 5 risk for tomorrow, and then temperatures will come crashing down after that cold front moves through.
Yeah, I mean, if you're heading home to spring break early, Thursday, Friday, I would please be careful on the roads. We are expecting lots of rain and heavy weather in the near future.
Absolutely. Speaking of that heavy rainfall, you want to be careful of flash flooding. If you are traveling, make sure you turn around and don't drown. I know that's a phrase we use a lot here, but it is an important one, as you don't want to run into any of those floodwaters on the roadways.
Yes, and if you happen to stay in Tallahassee over break, we are experiencing definitely below average temperatures, so make sure you're aware of that and plan accordingly.
I know, people might be thinking, it's meteorological spring, but winter still is until next weekend. Follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
That's right. If you want to stay updated with us on the latest forecast, you can also watch us live on YouTube every weeknight at 6 o'clock, youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And please follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
That's right. We also want to see those nice weather photos and also dog photos. If you want to send those in for our dog walk forecast, we always appreciate those. But that'll wrap up this Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Evan O'Regan.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Hansen.
That's right. And congratulations on your first show, by the way, Sammy. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, that's it, folks. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Good night.